Equinox blessings, everybody. Nico, Scarlet Moon, back here with another video for you. And in this video, I'm really excited to share how to actually open up gateways. And this is actually something I'm laughing about because I know that a lot of people are really going to like this topic. Because this is actually also a bigger part of a bigger mission that I'm a part of. And those of you who have been resonating with the idea of a Path Watcher or the Path Watcher message, you definitely want to be tuning in because this is a big part of what we're getting called to do right now. But even if you don't, or you have another role, or another role is presenting itself to you, you know, this might be a skill or an ability that you want to have as well. And even if you're just not really like in a place where you're taking on a role, or a role is not activating or calling to you right now, this can be something that you can do for yourself, and something that you can do, you know, to help your community, to, you know, help raise the vibration of the collective planetary experience, you know, and also give yourself, you know, a jump start in your spiritual growth, your spiritual activation and awakening process. Now, this exercise I would actually do for events, you know, group events. Maybe I would be visiting a venue for work, or co-hosting or attending a retreat. And what I would actually do is I would open up, you know, these gateways and activate these gateways, you know, for the attendees or anyone who wished to be present for that experience. And the experience is always wild, and even practiced, even when I'm still doing it a lot. You know, the cool thing is there's always something new to pop up, or there's always kind of a fun little experience that's like, aha, you know, it never gets dull. I remember one time in Arizona where I was co-hosting a retreat, I opened up a gateway, and, you know, some of the attendees were seeing tracers, no substances were used, it was a totally sober experience, you know, again, a wake-up experience. One time when I was in the UK, I was with a whole bunch of, you know, really cool friends, and we opened up this gateway in the Peak District, and we were seeing orbs with the naked eye, blue orbs, white orbs, you know, all of the elementals and nature spirits just kind of bouncing around. It was a really, really cool, you know, again, experience to be able to share and have with people. But the most important thing is to do this with purpose. Okay, this is meant to be done with purpose. I don't want this, this exercise to be an escape from life pursuit. This is an enhancement of the quality of life pursuit for people, okay? This is not for entertainment purposes. This is not for, you know, going to activate your third eye so you can, you know, trip out. This is meant to help elevate the vibration of the planet and to help you. Because what's going on right now, and more of this has gone over in the Path Watcher video and the Dimensions video and the Density video, is that while Earth itself has actually already transcended into a fifth dimensional expression, a fifth dimensional, multi-dimensional expression now to support multi-dimensional experience, there's a great deal of density as well as spiritual, I guess you could say, gunk, leftover inert junk, kind of on, you know, on the planet and in the collective at this point in time. And what's been happening with that is that, you know, it's as that energy starts to get, you know, rattled and knocked around by these higher vibrational frequencies, you know, to be dissipated, you know, and cleared in its own way, it's making a lot of the collective experience very chaotic. And it's, you know, sometimes it's sending people, you know, down a path where it kind of takes their growth a little bit off, you know, off course, or again, it could be, you know, creating experiences that are of physical, emotional, or psychological, or again, collective or community crisis. And what's happening here is that, you know, again, we have a circumstance where we have this very big, profound shift in progress, and yet a lot of spaces and a lot of populations on Earth are not, they're not necessarily getting their best chance because of the presence of that density. And so when we open up these gateways and we create these, permanent lines, rivers, flows, and connections to source, we are actually perforating that density. And as that density continues to clear and break up and dissipate, more people will be afforded the opportunity to actually explore, a life of a heightened awareness and a higher stage of consciousness and a higher state of consciousness, accelerating gently as opposed to rattling around their shift, and allowing them to again grow into this new paradigm. So that is what we're going to be doing. Now, for those of us who are, again, a part of the Pathwatcher role, we're going to be doing this, in places where we start to feel the most density, right? The gatekeepers and the grid workers, in the past were activating sacred sites, waking up those old energy beds and, starting to update and upgrade them and reattune them and, activate those grids. Pathwatchers clear the path. And so to clear the path for the collective, we are basically clearing whatever paths there are, again, to a personal ascension and awakening process. Now, as I've been saying a lot, please, please, please do not, try to use this to change a person's free will or to control people. You are working with, again, the highest divine intelligence that is already vibrating to the highest unconditional love for all concerned and working in the best interest of all concerned. Should you attempt to, manipulate this to, again, force somebody to go down a certain spiritual road, or to, take away their ability to make a choice or anything along those lines, it's not going to work for you. Okay, so we're not going to be aiming this at a particular person or targeting a particular person or a group of people. This is not about conversion to any specific type of spiritual path. Remember, this is not about validating, affirming, or denying any spiritual path or practice. This is meant to support all, so long as, again, it elevates the shift in consciousness. So muzzle the dogma. If there's, anyone out there who might be thinking about doing this with a dogmatic agenda in mind, muzzle the dogma, #muzzle the dogma, and, just allow in perfect trust the surrender to the highest divine intelligence to, again, increase its presence, in this experience, to clear and activate and accelerate the acclimation to this shift in consciousness. We are not controlling people's minds, but we are clearing the clouds, the dust, and the smoke from their eyes. Each of us still gets to choose. So now let's talk about how to actually create your own gateway, your own vortex, your own, again, higher source connection, that higher source, stream into, again, your space, the environment. You can do this outdoors would be ideal, but you can also have your own, grid, your own portal in your own home if you choose. You can do this again in your garden. You can do this wherever you feel called to do it. Pathwatchers, again, we're going to be, you might want to do this quite often, or whenever the mood strikes you, to, go and actually start planting some of these wherever you feel, that density is perhaps the most concentrated, in order to, again, perforate and clear, that density in that area. And what we're going to be doing that with, I do it with crystals. However, I've also done it with just, quote, ordinary, unquote, rocks. and stones I've found out in nature, out in the woods. There's a rather large park nearby with really, it's like a big forest and a great big hill. And, I did this with just, stones and pebbles I found out in the woods. Don't assume that you need to break the bank for this, or that fancy tools somehow make it a more authentic experience. But if you are choosing to use crystals, I do recommend that you actually work with crystals that already vibrate on the frequency of that higher light intention of clearing, amplifying, acclimating, and again, raising frequency and clearing and dissipating that density. And so, of course, clear quartz is a great option. Okay, because again, clear quartz can be programmed to do anything. You don't have to use, a big tower like this. This is, that is one of the ones I have around my house that, in my home that I use for my personal, use when it comes to portals and gateway work. You don't necessarily need to have something that large. Actually, when I go out and, I'm bringing my own crystals, to plant in the ground in various spaces, I'm actually just using, again, smaller quartz points. Points are ideal if you can't get access to points or you don't have any points. Again, round ones are perfectly fine. It's just, again, we're just working with what we have, but also at the same time, I'm just giving you an idea of what I work with. Amethyst is also great. I've got some amethyst points here. I've actually got about a dozen of these that I'm going to be planting. And you can use clusters if you wish. Again, I use clusters for home use, not necessarily outdoors. I don't plan on going and picking these babies up once I plant them. And citrine is also a very nice stone to use as well, because it actually does, again, really a very strong job of, again, not only clearing but opening the senses. And so what we're doing is we're basically, again, opening up and activating and connecting, and again, dissipating all of that density, all of that leftover, junk. So let's actually go through the process of opening up and activating these higher gateways. So like in the opening and connecting to your higher heart and clearing crystals video, you're going to go through that entire exercise, right, where we're going to get into activating the higher heart. All right, we're going to open up the higher heart, our personal, again, divine source connection, our personal divine spark, our personal portal to source. And we're going to, of course, connect up again through the crown, opening another gate to source. Right, and we're going to clear and clear and clear our energy field. Right, we're going to work on surrendering to that higher light, surrendering to that highest light intelligence, source divine will intelligence, and allowing that to wash and clear and cleanse our entire system. And then we're actually going to take, again, one of our crystals here, and we're going to, of course, clear it, again, and you can follow the clearing exercise in that video where you are, again, taking, now that you've got your portal to source, open a portal to source, open the divine spark and gateway that's already in each crystal, in each rock, and opening that up and connecting that to source as well. And then what you're going to do is pull back your line, pull back your energy from that crystal, like we did when we were done cleaning and when we're done clearing it. And we're actually going to then call down more of that higher light intelligence. And we're going to take and direct with our pure intention that light all the way down from the crystal into the center of the planet. And you're going to open the divine spark within the planet itself, again, connecting through all dimensions and realities, through all veils, into the divine spark in the planet itself. And what you're going to do is then you will state your intention. And remember, this is a self-corrective energy. This is a self-corrective light. You are surrendering. You can say anything like I call in the highest, purest light intelligence, and I surrender this stone to the dedication of serving in the highest divine light intelligence, to amplify the presence of the higher dimensional frequencies, to now integrate in accordance with the divine will, in the accordance of the acceleration of the evolution of the collective, and increasing the presence of highest light in, upon, and around the planet. Dissipate the veils in accordance with the highest intelligence, in the highest source light intelligence, in the perfect vibration, perfect, clear, purge, activate, open, amplify. What you're doing is you're not taking light and blasting and beaming it around like you're using like theta or Reiki or qigong or any of your own personal energy field like that. It's not how this works. You literally just open, right? You just turn on the flow, and then you issue again your will. You issue your command in surrender to the service of all. And what happens is then you actually, again, you're clearing, and then you plant it, right? You just plant it. I plant mine point up, all right? Which might sound strange, but because, remember, in that opening your higher heart video, that line that we're sending up that actually gets a response from source coming down, that's exactly what happens here, right? That line into source in Mother Earth is also going to be then getting that response from source. And so we're just going to plant it so that it's coming up. That line from Mother Earth goes up through the point into source, and then that response comes again through and activates into the planet itself. And it's going to maintain and radiate this flow. Connect it. I highly recommend connecting it to any other grids that you are working on for this intent, for this specific intention. Okay, let me explain that later. For this specific intention, or any other grids that are working with this intention. All right, you can actually say connect to all other crystals, connect to all other stones, connect to all other gateways that serve this intention. Link. And the link, you don't have to worry about like extending a line out to where you think they all are. You don't have to get maps, you don't have to go and draw, where do I think this is supposed to go? Where was that guy at? Don't worry about that, because what you're doing is source will link it. Source will link it behind, all of this dimensional presentation. Source will link it behind. And so what happens is now there's a link. We're creating sort of like a web or a network. And you will notice that, things will start to stir up a little bit, right? A lot of that density is going to be getting, clearer and cleared out, and again, dissipate and disperse. And you're going to be noticing some changes, in your neighborhoods as well. People who are opening up to it or having opportunities to open up to it might be more open in general. Again, we're not trying to control people's free will. We're not trying to throw any kind of additional, intentions into this. We're just opening the highest vibrational light gateway and just letting it do what it's going to do, right? We're dealing with intelligent light here, and it's going to grow. You can say grow, right? It's wise to actually grow, and again, spread out that light. You can see it as a column of light spreading out, and as we create this network, what's going to happen is again, a lot of veils are going to lift and clear. A word of caution: do not attempt to use this exercise to manifest anything for your individual personal experience. All right, when I say that, I mean don't try to manifest abundance or money or prosperity through this. Don't attach it to any kind of works you have going on for, again, manifesting money or something that you wish to attract into your personal experience on that level, or trying to attract love, or, don't use it for that. This is a very specific thing that will, again, afford you a better opportunity to, have those works be more successful. Don't try and attach this or send other intentions into this grid. It will not work, okay? And it might actually break apart whatever you attach it to that's not actually in link with this intention. Because a lot of this stuff, is a lot stronger and a lot more ever-present, and this network is a lot more established now than even when I was doing it for the first few times back in 2013, 14, and 15. So don't just throw in an extra thing in there. It's not going to work, and if you try to attach it to something that's not resonating with it, it's just going to get canceled out, and then you're going to have to clear it and start all over again. So make sure that you don't, try to, I guess, adjust or pilfer anything from the grid system itself. Let it help you, all right, by proximity. Let it help you and the collective to do your other work. Just a little bit to throw in there. But I hope that, you guys found this helpful. I hope you found this helpful, because I think that this is going to be a big moment and a big shift in the tide for a lot of people who have maybe been feeling like they have been kind of running in circles when it comes to their spiritual work, their spiritual process. If there are any kind of loops, or again, if you feel like you yourself have been caught up in, the density of, yourself, or again, your environment, or anything along those lines, this is a great way to afford yourself a good clearing system that's going to be sort of on a constant run. These gateways, wherever you place them, will also take part in more energetic events that go on down the road. We're, at the time of making this video, we're about to go, to go full swing into an equinox gateway in the last week of September here, 2019. But, the gateways that you open and activate, whenever you do, will also pick up those energies that move through, for solstices, for full moons, for eclipses, meteor showers, whatever's going on. They will also take that energy in during that time. So, for those of you that want to open them during those peak periods, that's great. But even if you can't do it during a peak period for whatever reason, that's okay. You're still going to be getting the new energies that were imparted, during the last peak period. So you're still drawing everything in. There's never a bad time to do this. Just make sure, again, you're coming with your intention set and in alignment, again, with the greater good. And again, the highest interest in accelerating and acclimating to the shift in consciousness for yourself and all concerned. So I hope you guys found this fun and interesting and enlightening. I need to go and work on clearing and activating these and these and a lot more other crystals, because again, I'm going to be doing this all over. And, you don't have to do these all over. If you feel called to do these all over, that's great. If you want to take, take a few crystals on your dog walk, and plant some in the park, and maybe, plant some down at the beach, that's great. Wherever you feel, this would be most beneficial and most helpful. And again, you can connect it to the rest of it as well, and we can all work towards this, again, this unified intention to grow, evolve, and ascend. And again, if a lot of this talk about clearing density and path watcher stuff seems to really be kind of getting you thinking about, some of the shifts you could have been going through in the last year or two, check out my path watcher video, because it could be a role that you might want to think about. So thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video. I can't wait to, feel and connect with all of you through this, very powerful and very strong shift. And I thank you very much for dropping by. I look forward to coming back with more videos very soon. Take care, and again, don't forget to check out how to open your higher heart and how to, again, clear and activate your crystals. Check the links in the down bar below.